Alright, it's recording. So, yeah, I wanted to make this video. Like, I'm not even gonna go off a script. I'm not gonna edit this probably, or if I do edit it, it's gonna be very minimal. But, basically, the whole entirety of how this idea of a video was stemmed from was I was watching a video from a YouTuber named Loaf. He has, let's check, he has 2.03 million subscribers on YouTube, and he has this video titled "She Was Nervous!" exclamation point. And he goes to Hooters and he meets this girl, which I'm assuming he he probably DM'd beforehand, or just wanted to link up and just hang out. So he went to Hooters, and as you can already see, because I had already had this thought before. Like, this is kind of a little reoccurring thought that I have about Hooters. But as you can see, I have Hooters pulled up on Wikipedia, and I just wanted to kind of talk about how, not kind of, fully talk about how Hooters is just a dumbed down version of prostitution in a sense. And I feel like, yes, a lot of people will disagree and a lot of people will agree because, um, as you can see right here, if you read this first paragraph, Hooters is the registered trademark used by two American restaurant chains, Hooters Incorporated, based in Clearwater, Florida, and Hooters of America Incorporated, based in Atlanta, Georgia, and owned by the private investment firm Nord Bay Capital, with Tri Artisan Capital Advisor as its advisor. The Hooters name is a double entendre referring to both a North American slang term for women's breasts and the logo, a bird known for its hooting calls, the owl. So there's two things, probably a little bit more, that I want to go over with just this last sentence, the Hooters name ending right here. So basically, off the bat, this company obviously knew what they were doing, and when they talk about hooting calls, like referring to like an owl, they mean like catcalling, like from men, like men catcalling women. And that happens a lot within the other realms of sex work and the sex industry, and or just women in general who intentionally dress promiscuous and wear clothing that is much revealing of their breasts or their lower part or what have you. And I want to clarify right now by already stating that that's none of my business. I'm not making this whole thing my business. I'm not making women's appearance my business, because it's their life and they're going to do whatever they want to do. And, you know, I'm not going to sit here and nitpick how a person dresses, because that's their business. And if they get catcalled in the street, then that's their business and it's not mine. So, and also, that's not for me to say also that, like, just because I'm saying it's not my business, that I wouldn't help a woman out if she got catcalled. Like, if I saw a woman on the street, this is hypothetical, by the way, if I saw a woman on the street and she was wearing clothes, even if she was wearing clothes that weren't revealing, because there is definitely men who still do catcall and they wear clothes. Men still do catcall women who wear clothes that are not revealing at all whatsoever, and women who wear, say, just pants and a t-shirt, because some men on this planet are just downright just perverted and create fantasies in their head that are very pedophilic, towards women who are not of legal adult age and women who are over the adult age. But anyway, so yeah, in quotations, a bird known for its hooting calls. So they dumb it down by saying, okay, so this is basically standing for, you know, women getting catcalled, which I'm sure that not a lot of women, I don't know if a lot of women do or do not get catcalled in that, in that business, in Hooters, in the building. I don't know. But basically, the reason why, one of the biggest particular reasons why I wanted to make this video was because, or document this, is because when I was watching Loaf's video, this girl was saying how she used the keyword regular, and she said, because I think Loaf asked her a question along the lines of, do you get, is there a lot of people who usually come here, or is it usually a lot of old men? Which you kind of see a line here. You kind of see a repetitive line when you talk about old men, because that is a very prevalent occurrence within once again, the sex industry and strip clubs and things of that nature. Because, it's a bunch of different reasons why these men go to these strip clubs. Sometimes they just want a genuine escape, and they're trying to find escapes, which are not good escapes by any means, because you don't know these women, you don't know where they've been at. It's not to say that you're going to have sex with them, but you don't know where they've been. And I'm not saying that like treating them like a piece of trash. I'm not at all. Want to clarify for myself once again, because I am not a misogynist. I don't hate women. I love women, and I think women's purpose on this earth, some women would disagree with me and say that when I say that women's purpose on this earth is to birth children, because they are the only ones who can birth children. They're the only gender that can birth children. There's two genders, and that's that. But so she used the keyword. She responded to his question and said, I think she pointed, or like head tilted her head over to hint at a guy that was a regular at that location that he was at, that girl that worked at Hooters and Loaf was at. And it's kind of like a big pattern. That's why I titled this video. I'm gonna go back in my notes and see what I'm gonna title this video. The Hooters company is just dumbed down legal prostitution. And a lot of people look at that title and they're like, well, I mean, prostitution's already illegal, and things of that sort. But I'm gonna go look that up, and that's in this same video as well. So we can keep reading. You've probably, by the time, like all the time I've been talking this entire time, you've probably read this portion, but I'm gonna go ahead and read it. The waiting staff at Hooters restaurants are primarily young women, usually referred to simply as Hooters girls, whose revealing outfits and sex appeal are played up and are a primary component of the company's image. The company employs men and women as cooks and hosts at some franchises, busboys and managers. So the reason why, when it says the company employs men and women as cooks, the company doesn't employ waiters. The company doesn't employ men as waiters. Like if you're a man and you want to be a waiter at Hooters, now I'm probably completely wrong, but right now I'm saying that they don't hire men to be a waiter. Like if you're a man and you're trying to get a job at Hooters as a waiter to wait tables, you're not going to do that, because it's exclusive to women, and that's for an obvious reason of the clear promiscuousness of it, and the fact that if these women have, whether they have big breasts or not, when these women are taking people's orders, men and women and children are going to be, that's going to be some of their main focus. And a lot of people would say, like, well, why would you say that? Are you thinking like that? Are you thinking like that? Like, what? Why would you say that? Why would you assume that? Because that's the human brain for a lot of people. And I'm not justifying that and saying that it's okay. I'm going to keep clarifying and justifying myself, because I'm not coming off as a bad person in this video. I'm not. And this is not even a video for research purposes. This is my view on this. But anyway, talks about the menu, We know what, you can go look that up easily, just like how you can go look all this stuff up. Um, as of 2016, there were more than 430 Hooters locations and franchises around the world, and Hooters of America LLC owns 160 units. In 2012, there were Hooters locations in 44 U.S. states, the United States Virgin Islands, Guam, and 28 other countries. Hooters also had an airline, Hooters Air, with a normal flight crew and flight attendants and scantily clad Hooters girls on every flight. So, let's go ahead and click on this. Yeah, I can already see a lot of stuff that probably happened on this airline. Like, a lot of men and women probably had sex on that airline, and that's an assumption. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that that's true. That's an assumption. But I want to go back to the sex appeal, um, and read this. So, oh, well, that's obvious. This is all obvious stuff. Sexual attraction is attraction on the basis of sexual desire or the quality of arousing such interest. So, yeah, we all know that. I'm going to let this sit here for like 10 seconds so you can read, or you can screenshot it anyway. But, um, yeah, I wanted to insert a clip of Loaf's video, but, you know, I don't even want to, not like necessarily give that attention, but I just don't want to give that attention. So you can go watch his video, if you want, but yeah, I just thought that this was very it's not funny, but it's very apparent and you can clearly see it, and you know, it's just crazy. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and include this clip here as well because I just saw the controversies and criticisms bracket in the contents. But I just want to read a couple of these because there's controversies in everything, almost like a lot of companies and circles. But yeah, so back in the video where I was stating where they won't give you a job as a waiter as a man, and yes, I do believe that that's favoritism in its own right because I mean, I'm a man and I can't get a job at Hooters. Like it's exclusive. It's exclusive to women unless you want to work in the back as a cook. As a man, like if you, it's completely different if you're applying as a cook at Hooters as a man, then you're most definitely gonna get that job too. Not 100% of the time, but um, you know, assumingly you probably will. But yeah, so we read right here on July 16th, 2019, Scott Peterson, who was one of two men who alleged they were sexually harassed by a male boss while working for Hooters in the Los Angeles area. I'm not surprised. LA is so pedophilic. Not just LA, there's a lot of other places, but LA is a big, prominent place. Reached a settlement with the restaurant chain in the Los Angeles Superior Court, though terms of the settlement were not publicly revealed. The other plaintiff, Paul P.J. Cagnina, obtained a settlement in May 2017. Okay, we'll read. In 2012, former employee Jerry Stratton filed suit after catching tuberculosis from one of her managers. See right here, in 2009, Nikolai Grushevsky, a man from Corpus Christi, Texas, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong and his name wrong, filed a lawsuit because Hooters would not hire him as a waiter. Grushevsky and Hooters reached a confidential settlement on April 13. In September 2009, the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission filed a lawsuit against a North Carolina charter airline, formerly Hooters Air, owned by Hooters of America, on behalf of Chow Nguyen. I definitely pronounced that wrong. I'm so very sorry. An Asian flight attendant fired 3 years prior after complaining only white workers were being promoted. And that's favoritism too. Only white people being hired. Um, look at this right here. This is crazy. In 2004, it was found that job applicants to a Hooters in West Covina, California — I know exactly where that is because there's a musician that I've listened to here and there that lived there or lives there — were secretly filmed while undressing, prompting a civil suit filed against the national restaurant chain in Los Angeles Superior Court. The company responded to the incident with additional employee training. And I'll read one more, and then this clip's going to be done. Also in 2001, Jody Berry, a waitress at a Hooters in Panama City Beach, Florida — I've been there — won a beer sales contest for which the promised prize was a new Toyota automobile. However, the manager awarded her a Toyota instead, claiming the contest was an April Fool's Day joke. Berry filed a lawsuit against Gulf Coast Wings, the local franchisee, and later reached a settlement. I think that's just straight up confusion. Not just straight up confusion. That's straight confusion. And then, okay, I said I was going to read that. That last one's going to be it, but I'm going to read two more. In 2000, a federal jury ordered Hooters to pay $275,000 to former waitress Sarah Steinhoff, who claimed in her lawsuit that she was the target of unwanted sexual advances, demeaning behavior, and recrimination from managers while she worked at the Hooters in Newport, Kentucky between October 1996 and October 1997. And then one more. In 1997, 3 men from the Chicago area sued Hooters after being denied employment at an Orland Park, Illinois restaurant. Each of them was awarded $19,100. 4 men who filed a similar lawsuit in Maryland received $10,350 each. The settlement allows Hooters to continue gender-restricted hiring in its wait staff. See? The chain agreed to create other support jobs like bartenders and hosts that must be filled without regard to gender. So they're aware of their subjectiveness in their company. I mean, it's clear like back and forth like a flip. Like you can't just pick and choose who you want to hire. You know what I mean? And like it's favoritism. I really do think, like, you know, I just think it's blatant favoritism. And it's more just barely on the women's side because they're majority of the people that you see out there, from what I've seen, like, that are waiting tables. Now, if this video does get traction and I get people commenting, there's definitely going to probably assumingly be people like, oh no, I've seen men all the time that are waiters. And if that's so, then that's good. And, you know, that's not an argument. That's good. But yeah, I know I was going to stop the video a while ago, but this is it. And